Chan Chun Sing, you buay paise. So as you can see in this video, Chan Chun Sing in his own way lashes out at Pritam Singh because he is disgusted with Pritam Singh. Hello Channel Need viewers, welcome to Channel Need. Today, in this episode, we are going to deduce the MBTI of Minister Chan Chun Sing. If you are new to this channel, welcome. We are a psychology channel based in Singapore and we do videos on parenting, psychological principles and MBTI. So in our previous episodes in Season 1 and Season 2, we have invited guests of different MBTI types into our show to talk about their MBTI types. In Season 3, we are also going to include some episodes where we are going to deduce the MBTI type of people that we may know, celebrities and politicians. So in this episode, we may be using a lot of MBTI jargon like J-type, P-type, T-E, F-E in our discussion. If you are not sure what it is, you may want to watch one of our previous episodes on the introduction of these cognitive functions first. Otherwise, if you are here for just some juicy gossip, then continue to watch on. So as I have discussed in my previous video, all the ministers from our ruling party must be a J-type of personality. So what this means is that they must either have TE or FE as one of their extroverted cognitive functions. So to decide whether Chan Chun Sing uses TE or FE is pretty straightforward. Now just as a quick introduction, Minister Chan Chun Sing is currently in the year 2020 the Minister for Trade and Industry. Now a lot of people may not know it, but Chan Chun Sing was actually a top student. So from all the news and videos that we watch on Chan Chun Sing, we can see that Chan Chun Sing is blunt, straightforward, result-oriented and intelligent. So he is very likely to be a TE user. In fact, all these traits are so salient and obvious that I would even say that he is a TE dominant, which means to say his dominant function is TE, which means to say now that Chan Chun Sing is an extrovert. So because Chan Chun Sing is a dominant TE user, so he is either going to be a ENTJ or an ESTJ. So what is the difference between an ENTJ and an ESTJ? So one of the main differences between the ENTJ and the ESTJ is that the ENTJ tends to be more unconventional, while the ESTJ tends to be more traditional. And I am inclined to believe that Chan Chun Sing is actually an ENTJ because an ENTJ attracts more controversy than an ESTJ, and Chan Chun Sing is really very controversial. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to give you more examples to show you why I believe that Chan Chun Sing is an ENTJ. So now that we are going to give examples on Chan Chun Sing being an ENTJ, how can we miss out the video that is almost viral on his debate with Pritam Singh?
The Minister for Trade and Industry spoke of the local PMET share going up 54% to 57%. And my question really is, can we expect in future, either by way of parliamentary question or by the government on its own accord, dividing that into Singaporeans and PRs?
So Deputy Speaker, sir, I don't think we have anything to hide. We have just shared the data.
Well sir, if that's the case, then for the number, the 60,000 PMET jobs, local PMET jobs, how many were for Singaporeans and how many went to PRs?
But let me say this. What is the point behind the questions? First, has local unemployment increased with all these efforts? The answer is a resounding no. Our people are getting the good jobs. Are our wages going up? Yes, and it's faster than many other countries. Those are the proof points to show that we are doing right by Singaporeans. But I'm always very cautious about this constant divide. Singaporeans versus PR.
As we can see in this video, Chan Chun Sing is a big picture person. So ENTJ tends to be big picture people and they do not dissect information and see divides. So in this debate, Pritam Singh is trying to categorize the people in terms of whether they are Singaporean or whether they are PR. So as you can see in this video, Chan Chun Sing in his own way lashes out at Pritam Singh because he is disgusted with Pritam Singh at how he views Singapore in such a microscopic way. And being an ENTJ myself, I also hate tunnel vision people. Tunnel vision people. So what are tunnel vision people? So to give you an example, we have tunnel vision parents. So tunnel vision parents are those parents that actually try to engage tuition teachers and then they realize that within 1 or 2 weeks there's no improvement, they try to change another tuition teacher. So tunnel vision parents tend to look at the picture from a very narrow point of view. They also tend to want to get immediate results, which is contrary to what the ENTJ believes, because the ENTJ tends to believe in far long-term results. We also have tunnel vision entrepreneurs. So what these entrepreneurs like to do would be, they like to start businesses. They are supposed to be evergreen, like a tuition center, achievement center, or bubble tea, because this they call low-lying fruits. In a way, I think an ENTJ entrepreneur is very unlikely to want to engage in this type of business because it doesn't interest them. So back to the story on Pritam Singh and Chan Chun Sing. Personally, I also do not understand why Pritam Singh has to divide the people so distinctively as to say they are Singaporeans or whether they are PR, because to me, they are one and the same. We are all in this together. In fact, I would go so much as to say that a permanent resident is a Singaporean. And so now you can see why Chan Chun Sing is so disgusted, because we don't see such a divide. It's a very narrow way of looking at things. Now, more so than the ESTJ, the ENTJ has a contempt for ignorance. This can be reflected in his usage of words like xia sui in his audio recording of a meeting session that was organized as a closed-door dialogue with business people from the Singapore Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry on 10 February 2020. So in that audio recording, Chan Chun Sing shows his disdain for people who actually engage in panic buying. He finds it embarrassing. Now, he finds it embarrassing because the people who are engaging in panic buying are demonstrating ignorance. And in turn, this ignorance reflects a low sense of logic and intelligence. And to the ENTJ, intelligence is actually very important. So another characteristic of Chan Chun Sing that suggests that he is an ENTJ instead of an ESTJ is that he seems to be able to accept controversy readily. So ENTJs are more future-oriented people, so they don't dwell on what people say about them. They also tend to be more courageous and are more prepared to accept the consequences of their actions. TE users tend to think of outcomes and outcomes only, so they do not consider feelings as part of the equation. So sometimes they may come across as very socially awkward when relating to people, especially people that he does not know personally. So for example, if you see pictures of Chan Chun Sing interacting with people at a hawker center, he may actually look very out of place, because as an ENTJ, it's very difficult for us to relate to people that we do not know because we are TE dominant, so we lack this FE function. But the fact that he is willing to try and he's very candid about it suggests that he is an ENTJ, because ENTJ people are more spontaneous than ESTJ people. So remember the time when he says Kichu quite long ago and people are laughing about it, he doesn't seem to care. And an ENTJ really doesn't seem to care about such things because they are future-oriented people. I would believe that Chan Chun Sing is going to be a good spot. So if there was an opportunity where people can actually ask Chan Chun Sing to dance or sing, he will do it. Because if he is an ENTJ, he is a good spot. I have a good spot too. And if he is an ENTJ, he will also be unlikely to feel embarrassed when doing such things. So I say, Chan Chun Sing, you buay paiseh. However, one thing to note about ENTJs is that they have a blind spot. And that blind spot is that they tend to assume that other people know what they are talking about. So being an ENTJ myself, I understand. So as you can see in my previous videos, I tend to say things in such a way that get a lot of people very bewildered. So Chan Chun Sing sometimes also displays this kind of characteristics. He speaks in such a way that people don't understand. Why? Because he already assumes that people understand what he is saying. So this is a common ENTJ blind spot.
Get you the questions.
So because he already assumes what other people are saying, coupled with this need for efficiency, he tends to keep things very short. So I would now like to give the viewers here a warning. Now, ENTJs are not very prone to displays of emotions, which means to say they don't tend to show emotions. But once they do, the emotions will be very, very powerful. So our our senior minister, Lee Kuan Yew. So many people have actually typed our senior minister, Lee Kuan Yew, as an ENTJ as well. So he is very strong and he seldom shows emotions. But in one of the videos, senior minister Lee Kuan Yew was shown crying on the separation from Malaysia in 1965, and that was a very powerful display of emotions. Now, because ENTJs don't usually show emotions, so when they do, it will be very moving and inspiring. So we hope to see Chan Chun Sing show such a moment in the future. So I do not know whether Minister Chan Chun Sing will ever get to watch this, but this is my personal words to you. So there are some people who do not like your style and do not like your ways. I think that's because they do not understand you as a person. I believe that you have risen to your position because you are really capable. And as a citizen of Singapore, I believe that I can trust you to do your job well, and thank you for your authenticity.
I'm not linguistically the most capable person on earth. In school, I'll be very happy if I can master my English. My family doesn't speak English.
So of all the ministers in Singapore, I think Chan Chun Sing will be the one that is the easiest to type because he is really authentic. So for the other ministers, I do not have personal contact with them. So if I were to type them, I would only have to base it on my impression on the videos that show a recording of them, which may not be their true persona. But if you like what we are doing, then you can request me to type some of the people, celebrities or politicians, on the comment column below. And if you have things to say about this video, do comment below as well. But I really need to stress that this is not a political video, it's an educational video. So if you have not subscribed to us, do consider subscribing. We are always trying to upgrade ourselves in terms of content and in terms of editing skills to give you a better viewer experience. So we really hope that you enjoyed this episode. Do watch our other videos as well, and do continue to watch our upcoming videos. 好啦，terima kasih.